Match days was electric, and you know, I was lucky enough that I played most of my career at Stoke City, so all my memories are here at the Victoria.
You see the lights above the houses on an evening game, and you see the people they flock towards it. You know, it was something special.
You can look back at it fondly and say that, you know, it was a special place really to watch football.
And it wasn't just a loss of just a piece of turf, it was something at the heart of the town.
I just try and blank out what it's like now in comparison to what it used to be.
16 years ago, the gates on the oldest ground in English football closed for the very last time. It proved to be an emotional finale for this tight-knit community, with 119 years worth of history consigned to the archive.
And they actually first played in a formalised sort of a ground near St Peter's Church in the middle of Stoke, which is now a graveyard, and then moved down near to Campbell Road and an area there, which was a ground which was also a racing track. It was a ground and a racing track, but it's actually, once you put a structure on there, like a little stand, it actually becomes the first real football ground. So the Victoria Ground was actually the oldest football ground in the UK.
Well, as being the oldest ground in the country, the Victoria Ground was also the home of the great Sir Stanley Matthews. The wizard of the dribble delighted Potters fans here during his 19 years with the club, and is now immortalised at the club's present home with his statue overlooking the Victoria Ground. Another former Stoke great, Terry Conroy, finds it hard to picture how the ground used to be like.
I don't come down here that often. I mean, I've been here a couple of years ago just to look in and trying to visualise and picture what it was like, but I can't relate to the Victoria Ground and this present state today because it just doesn't seem possible. It's there should be a shrine here. It should be you know, for generations to come. This should be a place, a special place, and obviously for players like me who played in that era. But it's desolate and it's gloomy and it's depressing, and as I say, I just try and blank out what it's like now in comparison to what it used to be.
It was a typical ground of that era, really, where the crowd was very close to you. There was only a little cinder track between that and the terracing, and the boothing end when it was full. You know, obviously it housed half the actual capacity at the end, so the atmosphere just reverberated around it, and it was an intimidating place to play.
The flag stays down, and it's flicked over the keeper, and it's number 2.
On that day at the Victoria Ground, no one really wanted to leave afterwards. You know, even half an hour after the final whistle, there were still loads of supporters inside the stadium. You know, the club didn't just empty the stadium as they normally do, you know, for the health and safety reasons. They sort of let people linger, and there were people just stood leaning over barriers on the boothing end, you know, literally not wanting to go and not wanting to kind of end it and say, well, that's it, we never come back here again.
People were hanging on, and suddenly it didn't fall silent, but a different atmosphere came over this. People were looking, standing, watching. A lot of people stayed for quite a long time when the crowds had gone. But people, when they talked to you after, even though they were still dressed up or whatever, all the carnival atmosphere had gone, and it was, we're going to miss this.
Beat the Espanyol 2-1. That was a good match, wasn't it?
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Muszę dobrze nie było, to do odbiłem. Muszę This is yours from him. I'm on the chair now. Emergencies. Right, for the okay, can we go around the pitch now?
Go to your changing rooms first. Like that?
Yeah. Is this the way? Yeah, go on then, I will.
This time legally, I've been down here.
Sitting under the shadow.
Sorry? Yeah, no. Sit up there, look. Yeah, I was up there last night. Taters. Barbara was going everywhere.
Talk about housing, but if it's housing, at least, you know, that there might be a plaque there among some of the houses that they have streets named after, you know, the likes of, I know I've got Matthew's name down at the Britannia Stadium, but there's other players who were fantastic players who gave great service to the clubs, the likes of Nobby Steele and Neil Franklin and Dennis Herod, names of old who were part of the history of the heritage of Stoke City. So if housing did be erected in time, I would like to think that the planners had the foresight to remember what the site used to be and to try and keep that memory alive today.
Well, I think it'd be nice to have something like that, yeah. Or whether it's a little bit of a development around a grass-greened area, you know, something like that. So all of a sudden you turn around, it can be Victoria Park, whatever you want it to be. But I think it's just something to keep as a club would be good in terms of like just remember it as the football ground.
You know, it was a place not only just for football, because it's where friendships were forged, and to this day they still exist. So it was a meeting place for male, females, and they look back on those days as very, very happy days. And if any of them take a walk down memory lane now and see this, I'm sure it'll bring tears to their eyes, because, you know, it's sad that there's nothing here, as I say, as a shrine, just to let people know really what this place meant to the people of Stoke, growing up in the 50s, 60s and 70s and 80s.
It's disappointing every time you drive past it on the 500 there and you just see this barren piece of land. So it would be nice to develop it you know, soon, and hopefully take some or give something back to the community that they can cherish.